I know we all know why we're here, but first and foremost, my name is Biram Shanga. I'm a journalist, a teacher by profession, I'm a social worker by profession as well. I'm an MC that hosts virtual events and hosts the on-site events as well. But here we are here to make history, right? Do you know who we're sitting next to? No. I've seen how everybody is looking at each other. Later about that as we go on. But for now, allow me to first and foremost commit this program into God's hands, right? Because we can't do anything without God. Shall we pray? Father, in the mighty name of Jesus Christ, King of glory, we come before your presence this time of the day. Father, we pray that even as okay, so I didn't say let's I know someone started conversation already. I'll ask a bit later, don't worry. So we are here for a book launch. So welcome everybody, it's good to see everyone here. Like I said, this is a space where we have very big words, but don't worry, we'll get to learn as we go. So I'm actually hosting the physical one. I think this is the first time, but then I've hosted a virtual event before, and it has been with Nuta as well. All right, so we can start our program, and of course, please make sure that we keep listening, avoid phones, so that we don't miss anything, right? Please, let's avoid phones. All right, allow me to actually welcome somebody that has brought us all together here. She's a friend, and of course, she's somebody that I say, if we had 10 of you, this country will not be the same. Allow me to actually welcome the author of the book, You Don't Need a Construction Degree. I don't have a construction degree, so it gives me hope. All right, allow me please, let's just rise up and give a clap for her to get to come through. All right, we can see, she says she will be seated.
The representative of Copperbelt University, the Zambia US Exchange Alumni Association President, the representative of Engineering Institution of Zambia, and the representative of the US Embassy. Dear esteemed guests, friends, entrepreneurs, future entrepreneurs, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to launch my book, You Don't Need a Construction Degree, How to Start Up a Construction Company in Zambia. I really value your presence and support as we embark on this exciting journey. I am Nuta Mumbi, also known as the Lady Engineer. Some of you might have seen me online. I hold a Bachelor of Engineering in Civil Engineering from Copperbelt University, right here, and a Master of Engineering in Project Management from Mulungushi University. I have 7 years of work experience in the construction industry, both in the public and private sectors. So I'm an independent engineer working with construction companies and real estate investors or property investors. I help them bring their dreams to life through construction and facilities management. To know more about the services I offer, you can refer to my banner there. And also you could visit my website, www.thelazyengineer.shop. I'm an author. The book that we are launching today is my third. So you can order my books online as well on my website that I have mentioned. Or you can see it there and some brochures here. In 2021, I must say I also have a YouTube channel where if you're an engineering student, you can also learn a thing or two from it. In 2021, I posted a video explaining how to start up a construction company in Zambia. So that video sparked both interest and controversy. I started receiving messages from people on WhatsApp and emails because obviously my video was short and it wasn't as detailed. So they wanted to know how exactly to start up a construction company or to even effectively run their construction company. So because of the overwhelming response, I thought, well, I might as well put this in a book so that I don't have to respond to each and every individual. So writing a book, just like a dissertation or thesis, is never easy. Initially, I thought I would finish this project in a month, but then I thought perhaps I needed to observe more, research, and even experience more of the industry. So it took me 3 years for me to complete this book. I started in 2021. The book is a comprehensive guide, step by step, about how to start up a construction company from goal setting of the business to business planning. It also talks about how to craft your business plan for the construction company, because some banks actually require you to present that document for them to open an account with them. I've also talked about regulatory compliance with institutions like the Engineering Institution of Zambia, National Council for Construction, NAPSA, ZRA, and Zambia Public Procurement Authority. Then I also talk about the bidding process, how to prepare your bidding documents, because you will need that, especially if you are going to grow sustainably. Then I received a question from somebody to say, how do you stay compliant as a company when you can't get any projects? Because obviously for you to get a project, especially a government project, you need to be compliant with all the regulatory bodies that I have mentioned in the book. So I have also highlighted how to source for contracts, not just government contracts, but even in the private sector, because it's important. And mostly, when you're just starting, probably the first project that you are ever going to have will be from a private entity, an individual of some sort. So I talk about that also in the book. Then coming to the title, somebody also asked me, you have a degree, so why are you encouraging people to start up a construction company without a degree? What do you mean? So in as much as the title says you don't need a construction degree for you to start up a construction company in Zambia, which is true, not just in Zambia, but worldwide, because not all construction companies worldwide are run by civil engineers or architects. You need to work with experts in the field. You, as the CEO of the company, is responsible for driving your vision. Even if you have me saying you don't need a construction degree doesn't mean I'm bashing education. I am all for education, I value education. I'm constantly construction, running a construction business. You are free to contact me.
Alright, so before we continue, allow me to just give my due respect to Father Augustine. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. So allow me to just welcome Pamela from the representative of the U.S. Embassy. Please let's welcome her.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay. Well, it's so wonderful to have a moment in time where you get to celebrate a woman, because most of the time it's always men that are always in the front lines of things. So we are here to celebrate Nuta, a member of as a student the time she was studying here. So thank you so much for coming through, and as well as the clergy. So we are all happy to be in here and having students who are passing through the same phase of life that Nuta has already been through. And as you heard from her story, Nuta started her journey from here. And did you share that? Yes. Nuta started her journey from here, and that is where you can start from as well as students. You can start your journey from right here, and you can sharpen it as you enter society. So everybody is welcome here in the American Spaces, and we thank the U.S. Embassy for providing us this platform where we can learn, where we can grow, where we can enhance and our professional as well as our personal selves. So thank you very much for coming. Thank you, Nuta, for
something that a lot of us would pretty much notice that mostly.
Good morning. We are given and taken as my own. I am a representative of the Engineering Institution of Zambia, and I hope it's something that is familiar to all of us. Well, so under EIZ, what is the Engineering Institution of Zambia, we have a section called the Zambia Women in Engineering section, ZWES. Maybe the students are a bit familiar with ZWES. We even have a conference tomorrow. Okay, so I'm here particularly to speak to that because that will be very, isn't it? It's rare to have such an opportunity where a female accomplishes something like this in our country at least. Okay, and as West, our primary goal is to promote women in engineering, okay, to provide a space for them to grow and contribute to national development or to sustainable development. So in this case, Nuta is everything that we would want to see in female engineers in our country. She has proved to us the third time that she's been able to share her knowledge in a special way. Look around you, we see so many books, isn't it? Each book is a representation of someone's thoughts, someone's sleepless nights, someone's countless hours to producing something that could be remembered. And I would want to throw this challenge to each and every one of us, especially the upcoming engineers. How do you want to be remembered? I'm an engineer myself, environmental and chemical, and that's one thing. Each time I wake up every day, I think, how do I want to be remembered? How am I going to contribute to the body of knowledge, the body of science, the body of engineering? And she has proved to us that she has taken up which she can leave something behind. Remember, life is just a speck of dust. We are all just in its time, in a limited space of time, after which will be no more, isn't it? Steve Jobs says the greatest invention to life is death. Why? Because we have
literacy or to be independent. I'm sure most of you want to be bosses driving big cars, but the reality is those are not yours. What she's done is hers, and no one will take away from her. Two, we have a lot of limiting beliefs. She could have chosen not to write these things because maybe sharing would have diluted her influence in society. Would have just been seeing her becoming like the people were ignoring, but she chose to do that. So there's a lot of developmental changes that had to go through from the time she started writing. If you were to ask her, I haven't asked her this, but you might find that it started 10 years earlier than the time we saw the books. And also there's self-education. The things she was mentioning in the book of registering with institutions, that she never learned here at CBU. The legal side, what you should do. So it all starts with wanting to become that person. We all want big money also, otherwise we won't be here. But that money never drops from heaven. It starts from a lot of hard work. And also generational wealth. We all hear generational wealth and the like. These books will still be online and they'll forever be generating income for her. Those are things we never learn. And I wish our education system could teach that. Otherwise, there's a lot of frustration. Even when you will find that there are so many other, maybe other ideas we have wanted to go. I'm just yes. So there's a lot of background work that goes into what you're seeing today. By the time you see it on the shelf, it takes a lot of hard work. So don't just assume it's a simple task, and we commend you for having the courage to write a book, because others would have criticized you to say, she hasn't got any experience to show for. Why is she putting these things in the book? But the reality is, in future she can, you have editions, I'm sure most of you have books, edition 1, edition 2. Why do you think they come up with editions? It's because after writing,
person to tell me why they want to be an engineer. Before we walk on it, speak up. Random person, you can always volunteer. There's a beautiful smile here. You can always stand and tell us why.
Because I feel like engineers are creators. They're people who bring in not just knowledge which has been put up across, but they create new knowledge to help better the lives of others.
All right, thank you so much.
Hey everyone. I would like to be, I wouldn't say venturing into engineering exactly for the sake of construction and what, but for the sake of business, because I am an economist. So from that point of view, I feel like engineering has more to do not only with construction, just like the sisters mentioned here, it has to do with innovation. And we're living in the world of changing technology and the environment. And therefore we need engineers and people who can think outside the box. So I feel like it's very important, and I would like to be.
Right, allow me to welcome Mr. Moses Mwansa from the President Zambia Association. A round of applause for him, please.
I understand this to
Innovation.
like she has introduced, I am Moses Mwansa. So I am president of the Zambia United States Exchange Alumni Association. So this is an organization that supports and represents all those that have had an opportunity to get sponsorship from the US government to either go in the US to study, go for a fellowship, or any exchange program. Those programs include programs that have been done outside of the US, also, like we have centers in South Africa where the US government sponsors people to go and train in leadership. So the organization actually has a lot of people, a lot of notable people within Zambia, and those that have gone outside now that are doing a lot of things. And Nutaye comes from, she's offered by the US Department of State. So we've got other people around, including Doc, she's one of our members, and others, including some of the lecturers. Just a collection of weights on paper. It represents a culmination of dedication, hard work, a deep-seated belief in the power of one's dreams and pursuit of knowledge. So Nuta's journey is a testament to the fact that with determination, right guidance, one can actually overcome an obstacle and achieve success against all odds. In a field that is traditionally dominated by men, engineering, Nuta's story actually serves as an inspiration to millions of young girls and women in Zambia who are aspiring to become engineers, as well as those who are aspiring to start construction companies. So this is a testament to them that passion, perseverance can indeed pave way to success, no matter who you are, where you come from, your gender or class in the society. What actually makes this book particularly remarkable is its focus on inclusivity, empowerment, and the insistence on possibilities of thriving in the construction industry without having a construction degree or a civil engineering degree. By demystifying the process of starting industry. This actually aligns well with our organization's mission, which is to foster collaboration, innovation, and to support government's efforts in fostering sustainable development within our communities and Zambia institutions and economic growth in Zambia. By empowering individuals to create their own opportunities and contribute to development of our nation. I encourage you to support Newton's endeavors by acquiring a copy, and you can find it on Amazon as well as on our website, The Lady Engineer. Actually, she even has a Facebook page, so when you go to the Facebook page, you can find a link to our website where you can actually purchase this book. You can also help her and support her by sharing with others, sharing about this book with others, and also by inviting others to read it. If you buy a copy, you can share with others to just read it, so that you can also gain from the knowledge that has been put in this book. So once again, I congratulate Rita, and thanks everyone for coming to celebrate with us. Thank you.
You all allow me to write on the protocol already presented before you. It is a rare opportunity to be a guest of honor. You know, preaching in church is different from talking to people in this manner with the academic staff here. But allow me to say this: I'm filled with great joy and satisfaction to witness the book launch entitled You Don't Need a Construction Degree and How to Start Up a Construction Company in Zambia. I'm so grateful to you, Nota, for the rare opportunity to talk about you. Particularly, I'm going to talk about her. And you know that is not an easy task. I've known her over 20 years. When she invited me to come and be the guest of honor, to say a few words about her life, I wanted to. She said you are in a better position to talk about me. I've known her since she was in grade 8. I taught her mathematics. I'm a lecturer in mathematics currently at Catholic University. And she was a very brilliant girl. I saw her as a young girl, quite focused, intelligent, and yet determined. Luta Mumbi, the author of the book we are launching today, is a reserved, focused, intelligent, and humble, courageous, beautiful, a thinker, wise, visionary, a leader that working. Sometimes she can be a workaholic. So I'm challenging you to reduce on that. We need you. And then the title of the book excites me. I'm a mentor. I like to talk to the young people. And as others have said, I taught at Dominican Convent where she was to promote mathematics among girls. Fatima, last day I had a class where we had challenges. They were refusing to do additional mathematics. But I had to work with them from grade 10. It was in Kitwe Island, and you know, a child brought up on the Copperbelt is taught. How can my daughter be sent to such a place? She's daring. If you go, you see Kitwe Island. If you don't pray, you pray. We use the speedboat, and there's a place called Lumunga. When we reached that place, I said prayers I've never said. And I said, how will I come back? And I found her there. She enjoyed her stay there. Keep it up. And you know, you are quoting the common phenomenon today, thinking outside the box. I think she said it. This is what we need. Support them, and then once that is done, they'll contribute immensely to the development of our country, as Mr. Monsa said. Let me quote Professor Monarusha. They succeed because we recognize their potential. This is the essence of education. That's why we go to school. It's not to get a job, but that potential. And then this potential must be realized. We should go out. Zambia is a blessing, but we seem not to have this priority to realize the potential in young people and support them. I've been challenging my students to say, do not just do research, those from economics. You go in the library, what people have researched about. No. When I did my research in my master's in applied mathematics, I picked air pollution by the mines. I was brought up in Australia. And I was told by supervisor, Professor Nyango, he said, eating more than they should emit. It can be done from a mathematical point of view. And it is you and me to protect our own environment, and we take out of, or should I say, the resources we have been endowed with to use their potential. May the Lord bless you in all your endeavors. Many pastors will say, may the Lord abundantly bless you. Amen. May I thank the sponsors, Pamansa, the American Embassy. May you continue to do more, even to more young people. I'm excited to see students, and please come to the fort and you'll be sponsored. You have the spaces, as she said. And also for all of you, for accepting and coming to participate in this function. May the good Lord bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions for Luther and of course the guests here, please feel free. This is a space, a very intimate space where we can ask each other questions. And I'm glad and excited that we are all young people, right? I think when Luther told me about the book, I was saying it actually shocks me up to this time that the Western writers are writing more about Africa than we Africans ourselves. So it's actually about time that we started writing our own history, right? Yeah. So Q&A, like I said, it's a very intimate space. We have Dr. Mwene here, we have Mr. Engineer Mlongoti, we have Father Augustine there, and of course, Mr. Wansa as well. Please, this is a space where you ask questions. We've always said, seek guidance to those that have gone before you, so that you learn from them. So if you have questions, just raise your hand. It can be directed to Nunta, anybody here, for them to just guide you on that. So if you have a question, please feel free and raise your hand so that they get to guide us. Questions?
But I'm just curious to know the genesis of her writing story. Like, what really intrigued her to start writing, and what pushed her to really become an author? Like, okay, now I'm going to put it into a book or novel. I'm just curious.
Nota. Say that I've always been a writer. My first memory of writing dates back to when I was just young. You know, at home, when you done something wrong, obviously your mother wants to beat you or something. So mostly I would write a note to her to say, I am sorry. Instead of speaking out, I would always write to her. So she knows that I'm always writing. Even in text, I'm always writing. Then in high school and primary school, you know, we had story writing or composition. I was very good at that. I knew that if I wanted to get a distinction in English, I had to make sure that my stories were right. Is it paper one? Which I can't remember. Yeah. And then when I came here, I would always write. Every time we had an assignment where we had to write, I would get good grades. And I wrote a fiction story with some other students in 2013. That was when I wanted to have my first book published in 2013. So when Engineer Mlongoti talked about, obviously, you having to view this book and think maybe I started writing in 2021. No, I started way back. So 2013 was when I wanted to have my first book launched. I've always felt like writing is therapeutic for me because I also get to speak my mind through writing. There are people that are very good at speaking. Of course, I am a speaker, but I wouldn't say I'm a very good speaker or I now. If you visit my website, you'll find a lot of articles that I've written. And also my Facebook page, I have written quite a number of articles. So it's something I'm passionate about. So if you don't have a background in construction, obviously you must firstly work and save something, then you can start. So running a company generally in Zambia is not cheap, because just going through the process of registration, especially for the construction company, you spend more than 20,000 baht. So you really have to brace yourself when you want to venture into construction. And sometimes when you get a tender or contract, you won't be given advance payment. There's such contracts. So you need to have a source of income where you're going to get that money. You've already mentioned that with the banks, you can't really go and get money on promises. They don't allow that. So you need to have some form of collateral or a person.
All right, thank you, Nuta.
To quickly add on, you could also partner, okay, with someone who has the finances. So you could call that person an investor of yours. So you may come up with a business plan and sell your idea to them, okay, what it is that you want and how they can come in and how you can share out. That could be a good way for you to start, okay. So in this case, you use whatever running around, going around to Pakra and other formalities for the business. That could be your input there. Okay, then as you make money from there, maybe that could be your startup to do your own thing as you go by. So I think when you don't have the capital, there are ways and different ways that you can get money. Not always go to the bank. You may have a relative who may actually loan you that money. So that's also an option you can consider.
Strongly loading there. Sir, please, and I mean it as well.
I want to disagree with you, especially that you're a student and you know, we try by all means to say, look, I don't have money, I can't start a company. I can share in under a minute. When I ran a company, a financial technology company called BDC, when I was starting, I actually didn't have any money. Okay? There are a lot of funding opportunities out there if you've got a good idea. On Sunday, we'll be launching the Uniport. I'm sure some of you may know the University Innovation Board that was funded by the UNDP. So the UN regional director for Africa is coming here with the Copperbelt University. That university port is part of what they're calling Timbuktu project, which is a $1 billion funding that is going to be available for young people with good ideas. You can actually have an idea and present it to an organization like the UNDP. They will give you a grant to do a prototype and build your MVP. Okay? I think the biggest problem that I see, especially among students and also among young people in the community, is lack of information.
What's your name? Comfort. How much do you need to survive right now in campus a month? How much do you spend a month to survive? Families and the like? How much $800 to $1,000. What would you do assuming the normal money was coming from home? What's the extreme situation you would do to raise that 800 to 1,000? So I conclusion from town.
I do loans.
No, I mean like you didn't have that ability. Can you work as a corporate? Can you do, when money comes, doesn't matter. When you go to ShopRite, professors, street people, shopper won't give you bread for 10 bucks. But when money comes, so my point is, what you're asking is something above there, but the skills you need to reach that above there are the same skills at the lower level. So if you can raise 800 questions, there's no way you'll raise that much money to run a company. Because the same skills you see in corporates, when they sell you something, you already have it. You put them on a t-shirt, it comes with a t-shirt, you buy it. Having that skill to sell you something That's the same skill big institutions, even in wealth management, you have to go convince someone to borrow money, knowing very well that they'll pay a lot of interest at the end of it. So my point is, don't aspire first to go big, aspire to acquire the skills, because the same fundamentals is what you just multiply. So if you can raise 800, definitely by the time you're raising that 800, you would have gained so many other skills that can allow you to raise 10 times more. So that's how we should think. Not really, we all want comfortable lives, but they all start from the back, from the small. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much. Father Augustine?
Yes, say your lifestyle has to know that. You might even not know that she's doing all those things, how much sacrifice she has done to do what she's doing. You need to learn to live within your means. Most of these people with big names will be shocked the kind of life they live, simple life. Unfortunately, in Zambia, I have 2, 3, 4 million. I want to be everywhere. I want to feed the man. I want to marry everywhere. So we need to be focused. We need to be simple. And of course, one of the things we are doing, as I said, opportunities, is to challenge our government. In Kenya, I learned one thing. People like you with ideas, there are Kenyan companies sponsoring and taking such kind of people. So that should not be your worry. Have ideas, then you interact with others. My brother there is an economist, but you heard what he said. And I agree with the type, you don't need a degree in construction or run a construction company. You can be from anywhere that you can do. So be focused, live a simple life, learn to self-sacrifice, and then the future is one for you.
All right, thank you. Funders are only waiting for you. I'll give you a practical example of what we are doing, me and my team. We have a project that we are calling "You Are Not Too Young to Decide." So "You Are Not Too Young to Decide" is actually encouraging more women to run for political office in 2026. So this is an idea that we came up with, presented it to the funders, and we're glad to say that that funding came through. So the only thing that you need is an idea.
And engineering works, those are physical jobs that are there. So usually people see, and this is what is lacking so much. I'm also one of the contractors in that category with no degree, but I've made a name because I deliver. So most of us here, even if we are given opportunities to have resources and start businesses, and even maybe venture into construction when maybe you're an accountant, if you can't deliver, you go nowhere. Because we have a lot of history, shoddy works, shoddy that. We are not delivering. We are here today witnessing the launch of that because somebody has delivered. So we can have a lot of ideas. So without the delivery, there's nothing that we are going to achieve. So please marry that coupled with all what has been said. Endeavor also to deliver.
Clients, because I know it's tough, especially when we are starting. I've talked about insurance and legal affiliation because the construction industry is very delicate. Somebody has just talked about you being able to deliver works. If you've been given a contract to go and build a bridge, for example, that's why I mentioned about collaboration. A bridge is a very delicate project because you don't know who's going to launch it. What if the president is going to launch it? Imagine you do short works on a bridge and then it collapses whilst the president is about to cut the ribbon. I don't think you see the light of day following. You'll be hungry. Okay, so you have to be very proactive with running a business. That has been mentioned in this. Then growing your workforce also, because human resource, I know nobody has talked about human resource, but it's something that is very critical when running a business. I know when you're an employee, we always frown at human resource. You say, no, they are always all about charges and disciplining us. No, you came late, no, you didn't do this, so we're going to charge you. But being a human resource specialist or practitioner is hard. When you're running a company also, it's difficult. It's not an easy task to get hold of people that are going to help you grow your company, you also need to know where to source these people from. So if you want to successfully start a construction company in Zambia, this is your best bet.
We are very comfortable to write about us, and we are not doing anything about it. I always say this, don't ever let history judge you for not doing your part. A word to them before we do the book presentation. I'll start with Nuta. I'd like to end with Father Mwewa. If you can start, a word to them.
Alright, so when doing the registrations for this event, I saw just a little over 50% of the people registering mentioned that they're interested in starting up a construction company. So I would like to know how many would want to start up a construction company by a show of hands.
Question.
I would like to know by a show of hands how many people here would want to start a construction company. Why? That's one answer.
All right, of course,
Why?
not everybody will not answer that. Why? Just one. I saw a hand there. You had your hand up here? Oh, please feel free.
For me, I feel like we are Africans and we need to put out our own designs, our own views of buildings out there. Not bringing a certain architecture from somewhere to come and do our roads, our own buildings. That's killing our potential and our opportunity.
Okay, so one of the most
Alright, so maybe my word would be, first of all, have long-term plans. Okay, so when you're in school, usually you're just trying to make it to the next year. First year, just trying to survive to make it to second year, and then from second year, you just want to make it to third year, and so on. But have long-term plans. Go home and think, what kind of a life do I want to live? Okay, what kind of a car should my wife drive? What kind of a car should my husband going to drive? What kind of a life? Okay, then when you look at that kind of a life, think, okay, so what am I going to do in between here, isn't it? What am I going to have to do for me to have that kind of income, to support that kind of a lifestyle? Ultimately, it's about living and life, isn't it? Apart from the impact, of course, what she has talked about. But also for yourself, what kind of a life do you envision for yourself? Okay, that could also be a way to help you come up with a long-term plan and see what you want to build for yourself. And then also, the second thing I want to talk about is I'm an environmental engineer, and of course, I'm concerned about the environment. You are the future. Okay, you are the generation that is coming after us. And at least I have an opportunity to talk to you and address you. We've seen the dry spell, isn't it? How many are aware that we're going through? Things happen on campus, people don't even know what's happening. Are we aware that we're going through a dry spell in most parts of the country? We are aware, isn't it? When was the last time we saw rain? It's been a week in Kitwe, over a week, somewhere there. Anyway, in some places it's going to be drier. That is an effect from most likely the El Nino effect that we're going through. And these droughts could probably reoccur, okay? They could come next year, they could come 2 years from now. In short, we are somehow going through a phase that we are trying to be calling climate change, isn't it? The climate isn't the same. So even in construction also we need to adapt new ways of doing construction. Okay, we have floods now, we have flash floods. Imagine having to construct the same road every year, same bridge every year because it keeps getting washed away. Why not build something stronger, something more durable? Okay, so going forward, my view is that as we think of construction, let us also include green construction, one that is sustainable, that will last longer, and also that is able to withstand or to adapt to the climate changes that we're experiencing as a country. This is a good book because it's talking about the setup that we have in our country, and it's time that we began to write our own stories, like she said, about what is happening to us in Zambia. The drought we're experiencing, and we're not experiencing it in the West, it's the boost where we died from. But we are the ones experiencing. So let's talk about what is happening to us and see how we can make things better in the future. So I throw this to you. As those who are coming in the future, let us make sure that we take care of our environment, and construction-wise also, let's always make sure that whatever we construct, engineering solutions should always be green and should always ensure that they are sustainable.
student, the generation that will come after me. Thank you so much.
Yes, from what I've gotten in general view is that when we are attracted to someone successful, but would you agree that there's no such thing as a just cause? When we see doctors spend 7 years and not working, and 10 years ago he's okay. So my point is, the biggest asset you have is time. I've been working, I'm 42. I've been working since 2008. What I can tell you is, no matter if you're MD possessor, what matters is what you're actually investing in. So use your time to invest in the skills that you want. It doesn't have to be construction. It doesn't have to be anything. Because your skills or your degrees which you get in the next 5 years, showing your investment, might not be even relevant 10 years from now. So invest in, like, if I was to ask you, who win the Premier League this year? What's the teachers with? Which school do you go to learn all that? If I ask you the latest song that came out, you see, the level of interest you put in to learn all these things on social media, that should be mirror the same way you want to know these skills. So if I want to know about selling, like you said, you're an accountant, price, whatever, but you don't even stay in Europe. It's the same way you can learn. It's the same mindset, same energy level that you need to use to learn the skills that you need. So use your time wisely, because once time goes, you never go back. That's the biggest asset. And there's no such thing as the best profession. So if this situation changes, why do you think all the doctors graduating are going? They have to survive something like that. So I hope you get gotten one or two things. And there's no such thing as a perfect scenario. I'm sure you want to be told, you were asking funding. I think everyone wants to know funding. What if those funders don't do it? Or what if you graduate and there's no job? I wanted to say this one since you but I've never worked for those companies. So sometimes you don't really have to know everything. What matters is just getting a few bits and pieces here and there. Then you start. Once you start, you'll be forced to learn. That's the reality of industry. So take for example on these. They come with all sorts of degrees because they're foreigners. You can't use those. But they have to survive by trading. You think all the wrong rules from yourself. If you've ever seen a very successful shop, it's most likely 90% owned by Lebanese. But they never went to school to study trading. It's because life has forced them to be like that. So they were open-minded to like learning those skills and survive. In the long run, you become, whatever you do, you sacrifice your time. The way you become good at analyzing food, when I hear, oh, they should substitute that person. That's how you become even as you practice this. So it starts now. Yeah, but you have to learn that. So, I hope you enjoy something.
When I came in, I was struck. I'll ask you, maybe you have been coming here, so like yourself, and I'll add self-knowledge. There's no way you can do anything if you do not like yourself. Know who you are. What is your passion? As she said, do not just do it because I was asking Engineer Monongot when we were chatting. Years back, I was one of those who are promoting students in secondary schools to come and do engineering. They were refusing. They say, I want to be an accountant, make big money. I don't want to do that work. So, like yourself, and that self-knowledge will help you. Like what you do. She said hardworking. If you like what you are doing, you are ready to sacrifice. I was a mad soccer fan. I'm a Real Madrid supporter. So when I went for and I said,
Looks better than that.